Hi everyone, welcome back to Witch is the Moon. I'm Sunshine Morning Ray, your Saturday hostess, and this week's topic was why witches use herbs, or what we use herbs for. So to try to put this in a real short video is almost impossible. The world of herbs is so vast. For those of you who are even beginning to study herbology, or even deciding to do simple things like herbal teas, you know that there is a vast amount of herbs and resins and oils, and the list goes on. So I figured I would do just a real quick on what I basically use my herbs for, even though that's even hard to do real quick. There's lots of things that you can use herbs for. Of course, there is the obvious, which is, sorry, Ziggy, say hi and then get down. Of course, there is the obvious that you can use herbs for, and that's for cooking. Hello. Good fresh herb garden is awesome, healthy, and it doesn't have those possible things that you pick up in grocery stores, like insecticides sprayed all over them or whatever. So fresh herbs for cooking, things like that, is awesome. Awesome. I have started my own little herb garden upstairs in different planters and stuff as well. So that's the obvious on herbs. Now, in my tradition, in Granny Witchery, the Granny Witch was actually the woman or the person that the neighborhood people went to when they had an emotional, a physical, or a spiritual problem that perhaps the doctor or over-the-counter regular medicines, or perhaps even the priest, was not able to cure, or if they could not afford to go to the doctor, or say it was very personal, then they saw fit to go to a granny witch before they would go to somebody else. Sorry, I have too many on my lap. Great. Oh. Okay. So, in Granny Witchery, what happened is you had people who were learning different properties of herbs and roots and just leaves, and testing them on different things to find out how and what they would do. And in the process, you have a long line of women passing down information on herbs that they have used for things like colds, headaches, pregnancy problems, women problems, man problems, just a broad array of health issues. And when you do a little bit of research, you'll actually find nowadays it's so easy to go online and to do a little bit of research on a specific herb and find out what its properties are and how you can use it to help you with a medical problem, or what it might be good for. This is otherwise known as holistic medicine. A good example of that a lot of people use, and sometimes I don't think that they're fully aware of it, is a simple thing like echinacea. Echinacea is very good for the immune system. And it's also the base for a lot of teas that are out there. So if you just appreciate the taste of it, you're already helping yourself. So what I did was I set out a couple of examples of what I use my herbs for, aside from cooking. And for those of you who have seen my Herbal 101s or my herbal cabinet on my channel, you can go check out a little bit more about how I use herbs. But to try to make this really quick, some of the things that I use herbs for are things like, I have here what is most commonly known as a dream pillow. This is a pillow. It's padded. It does have, mine actually has cotton balls in it because I like the way they feel. But this also has a sachet of mugwort in it. It also has a couple of other herbs, but it helps the energies that the herbs put off and the aroma that the herbs put off have a tendency to cause you to dream in certain ways. Thus a dream pillow. I do not have it sewn shut on one end. That way I can replace the herbs and put something different in them should I want to do something different in my dreams. For instance, astral projection, or no more nightmares, or I need to sleep, or things like that. So that would be one example. Another example would be, and probably the most common, is incenses. Loose incenses and cone incenses are both done with dried herbs. And you start to get an appreciation for herbs when you have so many of them and you can open up one and just the smell makes you think of something in particular. That right there tells you just how strong herbs can be on our senses. But when you decide to become a mixologist and try your hand at using different types of herbs to make wonderful smelling loose incenses, or when you try to do things like bath remedies. This is my bath salts that I make. This is my rose petal and heart protection salts, and there is herbs in there. You start to get an appreciation for the herbs and the way they smell and the way they make you feel and what they can do for you medicinally. And they can be found in so many different forms. I mean, you have something like star anise. This is star anise. The smell alone makes me smile. It has a very strong licorice smell. And when you grind it up, that smell is like intensified like you wouldn't believe. And when put into an incense, it's incredible. It's just incredible. Or you get an incense, perhaps it doesn't smell too good, but when you find out its properties, this smells like a barn. It smells like a barn, it smells like hay to me. But the properties of this herb, it can reduce cramping, it can reduce fevers. When done in a poultice, it can reduce swelling. This, my friend, is feverfew. And it's so wonderful to be able to go to an herb or know that you can turn to something that is not chemically made, chemically bound, something natural that you can put in your body that will help your body. Another thing that is done with herbs is they are reduced to what is known as essential oils. Essential oils can do the same thing. A good essential oil for, let's say, mosquito bites. A good essential oil is lavender oil. Lavender, when it's in its dried stage, is very good for protection, love. It has a vast amount of things attached to it. Many correspondences. It makes an incredible tea. There's just so many things about, one single herb that you can learn and that you can delve into. And I'm still learning. I'm learning about things like the different things that you can do with galangal root. Now, I have ground this up. This is powder, and it took forever. But I've worked my intentions into this because I have plans for an incense that I'm putting together over a period of time. You can work with things like different types of sandalwood. This is white sandalwood. There's just so many things. You can buy herbs like this, and you can experiment with little tiny amounts like this. You don't have to go out and get a huge thing. You can get small amounts like this. This is orris root. You can get small packages just for therapeutic purposes once you've read up on them. Be sure to always read up on them though, please, because there are some herbs out there that are poisonous. They're not to be ingested. They can be used topically, or some that can be used topically, can't be used topically, can't be ingested, but they can be used for things like casting, or for instance, candles. When you are doing spell work, there's different correspondences to different herbs. So for me to try to do a really short video on herbs, I mean, you can draw your own. It's just, there's just so much that you can do with herbs. And when you start learning about the medicinal properties, I think is when it's the most interesting. And it also gives you the most information on the correspondences and how you might want to use them in your castings. So that's my little tidbit on how I use herbs. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, I will definitely try to answer. I don't get notifications of messages left for Witches of the Moon. But I will definitely check back every now and then, and if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. So until next time, I hope you all have an awesome evening, and blessed be. Bye-bye.